is RHD2?
RHD2 is a new strain of rabbit hemorrhagic disease. So there's been two main viruses in the UK that have affected rabbits up until now. That's the myxomatosis virus and RHD, which is rabbit hemorrhagic disease. RHD2, as I say, is a mutated version of the rabbit hemorrhagic disease, which has been active in Europe for some time now, but has only recently come into the UK.
Is it something we should be worried about?
I would say absolutely. It is something that we need to be worried about and looking at. The biggest concern about RHD2 is the way that it's mutated. It's a slower virus. It is harder to identify the symptoms of it, and in some ways it's better for us because there's actually quite a high survival rate, but that high survival rate means that the virus lasts within an environment for longer. That means that rabbits become carriers. That means that it's much more likely that the virus will spread. So although it's a slower virus in terms of how it impacts the individual rabbit, it's going to be a faster virus in terms of how it spreads across the country. And if we don't act now, we'll find that spread grows before we are prepared for it, and we could lose literally thousands of our pet rabbits.
What should we do about it?
The most obvious thing to do is to speak to your vet about it. Recent media coverage has suggested that there isn't a vaccine available, but that's not the case. Rabbit Welfare Association has managed to secure a vaccine within the UK. It's not licensed the way that our vaccines normally are, but it is available through vet wholesalers, so your vet can get it. If you're getting any vets that are suggesting there's difficulty there, just persevere with them until they get it in. In the meantime, what you can do is improve your hygiene routines with your rabbits. Clean them up more often and use a high quality, animal safe disinfectant. That will help in many cases to keep the virus at bay, and it's the best that you can do in the absence of the vaccine, but keep pushing until you get that vaccine.
Where can I get help for my own rabbits?
Again, best place is to speak to your vet first of all, but we know that because it is a new virus that some vets aren't as aware of it at the moment. So over and above that, one of the best places is to look online, and I would specifically suggest that you look at the Rabbit Welfare Association, because there's a lot of mixed stories out there at the moment, and they have been very actively pushing for education to be increased about RHD2, and it's them that has managed to secure the new vaccine as well. So they are the best source of information, and accurate information about RHD and how to respond to it.
Where can I get more information about this?
There's also a number of online groups, particularly Facebook groups. If you have a look for RHD2, you'll find, and you'll be able to get a lot of advice from other rabbit owners who are perhaps already experiencing the impact of RHD2, or have done some of their own research, and they can point you in the direction. Because it is a new virus for the UK, a lot of the information is still coming out there and it's changing on a regular basis, so it is important to keep your eye out for updates. Again, sign up for the alert service from the Rabbit Welfare Association, and they'll email you on a regular basis to give you the latest information about RHD2.
How is the charity responding to the RHD2 threat?
We first started looking at the RHD2 situation a good number of months ago. We didn't want to rush in and start responding to it in any particular way until we were aware of exactly what the best course of action was. That very definitely now is the vaccine route, and the vaccine that has been secured, which is called Filovac. So we have been negotiating with some of our vet partners. We've been looking at our general vaccination routine. So one of the things you'll discover about RHD2 is that it isn't covered by the current MixO-RHD vaccine. That means we're back in a situation where we now need to have 2 vaccines for our rabbits every year. One is the MixO-RHD vaccine, it's the combined one, and the second, which needs to be at least 2 weeks apart, is the new RHD2 vaccine. So we'll now be vaccinating all of the rescue rabbits with both vaccinations from a little bit later in this month when the stock becomes available for us, and that will then become our routine. Every single rabbit will be vaccinated against using both vaccines against the viruses that we're aware of.
What impact will this have upon the charity?
The biggest impact is going to be a financial one. We didn't anticipate that this would be coming, and it's a significant impact financially. The new vaccine is a little bit more expensive than the original, and now we have to vaccinate twice for every rabbit, so that's going to be a significant cost increase for us, which we just haven't got the funds for, to be honest. The other impact is around the duration that means a rabbit will be with us as a minimum. So within the rescue, we obviously do our best to prepare rabbits for adoption as quickly as we possibly can. But the delay of having this additional vaccination and the fact that there needs to be a good period in between means that they now have to be with us for a minimum of 8 weeks before we can allow them to go out to an adoptive home. For many cases, that's not that much different than they are at the moment. A lot of our rabbits are with us for a few months before they go. But for some of our rabbits, that we will notice that, and particularly our younger rabbits or rabbits of a particular breed that are highly desirable, we can usually get them in and out relatively quickly, and now we can't. So they're going to be with us for 8 weeks. That means our adoption rate's going to slow down. That means the number of rabbits that we can help within a year may slow down, and we might find that the knock-on impact of that is that our waiting list for people who are looking for rabbits to come into the rescue will increase because it will be slower for us to create that space.
How can we help?
Well, there's a few ways that you can help. The main way is financially. So we're launching a campaign alongside this video to help us fund the initial vaccines that we need. So as it stands at the moment, we've got about 80 rabbits in the rescue, and they all need RHD2 vaccinations straight away. And then we've got our ongoing turnover. So we've worked out that within the first year, the impact of this additional vaccination is probably going to be around £5,000 mark. We're not looking for that straight away. We've also got other priorities as well. We've got other vet bills coming in, but our campaign will help towards that, we hope. We would also appeal to people to consider fundraising. So if you can't give out of your own pocket, that's perfectly okay, and we appreciate that you can't constantly dig into your own pocket every time we ask for money, which we do a lot. So consider fundraising, consider going out and doing a 10k for us, or holding a coffee morning, or just something simple to get that little bit extra cash. Every pound really does make a difference. So fundraising activities is an area that we've not been very good at in the past, and we'd be really keen that our supporters now help us by doing these kind of activities. It helps raise awareness of the charity as well as bringing in that vital funds that we need.